Men are not going to wife you or be in a relationship with you without smashing you first. We've heard this.
I think they saying too fast.
Right, but we've also heard that timing doesn't matter either. Wasn't it Trill who said, if that's my intention for you, whether I wait 8 months or wait 2 weeks, if all I want to do is have sex with you, I'm going to have sex with you. That's it.
But Trill's been married.
No man is going to invest time and effort for 8 months just to have sex and leave. Like, and you know,
we're not saying logic 8 months. I didn't say we didn't.
No, I'm not saying logic 8 months. I'm just throwing out a number. I'm just saying, like, that was just an example. He did say that if that's my sole purpose of wanting to stay around you is just to have a physical situation with you, that's what I'm going to do.
But the whole context around that also, which I feel like is really important, is the effort behind all of that, where in the intent, the actions behind it all, where it's like, you know, to your point, see, you are right. At the same time, as a woman, you can tell when he is or is not giving the energy and giving the effort that's needed, where it's reflective that his intentions are, I want to be with you, or his intentions are, you're just a good time.
I agree with that.
Look, I talked to some of my single friends, and I feel like some of my single friends, when I listen to the conversations that they have about these guys they're dating, it's almost like the guy comes off like they want to be in this relationship, but then somewhere down the line, that's not really what they've been saying the whole time.
Oh yeah, they got that.
And so I don't really understand that concept. And I'm like, why would you do that? If, you know, like, why don't you just say the truth? Because most women don't really care. Like, if you really just here to smash, then, like we said earlier, then you should just say it. Because what if I was down for that? You know, and then
go ahead. Go ahead. You're right. But we hear this over and over again from the people in the chat, the men in the chat. They always say, look, it's a delusion, because I think women get mixed up with a man who is intentional and a man who just wants to sleep with you. A man who just wants to sleep with you is going to.
Oh, so the woman is like making that up in her mind.
No, what I'm saying, he is going to play the role until he sleeps with you, and then he's going to have what's
called. But if they've been sleeping, like they've been sleeping together for like 6 months, and then like
he ain't going to stop it.
And then 6 months down the line, it's like, you know, I guess, you know, women are trying to get serious, and then the man is like, oh, well,
she's a booty.
Maya, I think it's a part of the vetting process. To Shantae's point, it's like, you know, you didn't vet this man properly. So had you asked the right questions, had you actually tapped in really not only ask the right questions, but observe the behavior. You know, you would really be able to vet whether or not this man was going to dip in 6 months. And so, you know, to Shantae's point, you know, having sex so soon, you end up veiling all of reality with these emotions. You know, from my perspective, feelings and emotions are one of the most powerful forces in the universe. And so now you start putting, you know, you put sex in the equation, which intensifies the feelings and the emotions that are shared between people. And you put that factor in between you and another person too soon. Now you're accepting things from people that you would have never accepted. You know what I'm saying? You're ignoring red flags. And now you're not really vetting this person because your coochie's throbbing. You over here fantasizing. You've made attachments to these fantasies about this man, about this scenario, and it's not even real life. It's you're not in real life. So the whole vetting process and being disciplined, women, we really do have to take accountability on our end, where like, no, sis, like, you knew 6 months ago that this may be that this was probably going to be the outcome.
And I don't mean to be funny. We just had a whole conversation with a guy just 2 weeks ago, said that he slept with a woman for a whole year and she was nothing but a booty call. So that's 6 months, 7 months.
They gonna hold on.
Men don't care. They can separate the two.
You stay single too,
because it's convenient for them.
They're gonna make sure you stay single too. They're going to say the right thing.
Say everything they need to say to keep you on. You are called a placeholder.
So at that point in time, it becomes like me as the woman, do I choose to continue to go through? Like, I need to be, like you said, notice the red flags and call out to it, which I agree with. You know, I totally agree, but I'm just trying to understand because I keep kind of hearing these stories with different people, you know.
It's rough when you marry, girl, and you hear these single stories, honey. Honey. I talk to my married friends all the time, and they're like, girl, I know if I'm back out in them streets, it's going to be rough.
It's just like, I mean, and my thing is, I feel like men are like kind of handle themselves differently than the time when I was single. Like, you know, back in the day, I feel like it was just like a whole nother vibe going on back then, and compared to what's going on right now. Like, what's going on right now is like, especially in Atlanta, maybe it's just Atlanta because I'm like born and raised here, and it's like this whole Black Hollywood thing. And I grew up like in Atlanta with like real Atlanta men, you know, so I'm just kind of used to that type of, and I hear these conversations and I'm like, who are these guys? You know, I'm like, but I don't know. So I'm just like questioning, that's all.
But also too, why aren't they requiring better for themselves? Like,
well, that's what I mean too. Because I'm just like, you know,
listen, they're getting what they're getting what they want. So they want sex. So you're just giving it to them. You're giving them what they want. So why would they? You're giving it.
And not requiring anything in return, because the second that you put those that you hold your standards in place and you hold your boundaries in place, and they have to show up respecting that, that's when they start falling off, because
the standards should be there from the beginning.
Those kinds of people weren't going to your point, Tam, honor those standards or boundaries from the beginning. So, you know, it's important to have them in place from jump. Because
follow through with them. Follow through with those standards that you set in the beginning. Because if you kind of just lean, and I think that comes to like healthy boundaries.
You can't complain.
Right. That's how, and I agree. Like, because my thing is, you have to kind of accept, like, if you accepting things, and I think we as women, and me, like, you know, just being in a relationship, I always think like, is this something that I'm willing to accept? Is this something that I feel like we should work on? Is this something that, you know, like, because like I said, people change, things happen. You know, I've been with my man for a long time. So it's like, you know, you go through all these different things in life, and you have to figure out, like, that's why I say you have to understand who you are as a person. You have to feed into yourself, because you have to be like, this is my boundary. And if I go beyond that, it makes me bad. It makes me a whole other person. What I don't want to do, I work so hard to be a good person. If you have those boundaries, you set them, and you follow through, then yes, that's great. But maybe women are like saying, well, this is my man, then I'll drop this boundary. So then at that point in time, that's when it's important to know what boundaries are you not going to break, you know, what's unhealthy and what's healthy.
Non-negotiables.
Yeah.
What are your non-negotiables? What are you willing to compromise on?
But then that still comes down to mental health, how you're being raised, what you grow up and see around. Because my thing is, I see kids, like, just raising a child. I'm like, it's so important for me to have him in, you know, different environments and exposed to different things, you know. But I see some kids who don't have, I get it now, like some kids who don't have a choice, and they're growing up in the projects, and they mama and they grandma, they all live in that same house. Nobody cares to get out. Nobody cares. And I see it, like, and so that kid is just seeing that, and that's just a part of their life, and that's how they think. And so that's hard to break through, you know, and see past that and learn something that's healthy for you, because you don't know what healthy is, because you think that trauma is normal. So, but I'm just really big on mental health. So sorry.
I love it, Maya. So am I.
I am too. I lost a friend last semester from mental health.